What's in these bags, rocks? Hey, these are rocks. Why is your suitcase full of rocks?
I don't tell you how to live your life.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here, and I've got a brand new Adamancipator deck profile for you. It's been a while since we've done one, and I thought it would be a fun deck to come bring back out. So be sure to smash the like button. Let's go over 50 likes. This build is a bit more gimmicky, but it does an insane combo unlike no other. Shout out to my boy Denfris. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. But if we get over 50 likes, I'll show you guys a bit more of a competitive build. If I was taking this deck to an event tomorrow, how I would play it. I don't want to preface this too much. Let's get into the deck profile. Solid rocks, brother.
Goofy Goober!
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here, and I'm here with a crazy Adamancipator deck profile. This is a crazy combo build. I want to give a shout out to my friend Denfris, who showed this to me months ago, and I'm finally getting around to unveiling it to you guys. A couple cards were barriering me from doing it for you, but I'm so happy to have it together for you right now. Now, if you guys want to see my serious build for the current meta, be sure to smash the like button. Let's get above 50 likes, and I'll show you a bit more of a competitive build. But this build is still extremely competitive. It's just a little bit more on the gimmicky side. So if you want to see if I was going to take Adamancipators to an event tomorrow, what that build would look like, let's smash it, get over 50 likes. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the profile. Alright guys, so we're going to start things off. The real simple stuff we'll run through real quick. Of course, we've got triple copies of Adamancipator Researcher, triple copies of Adamancipator Seeker, and triple copies of the Analyzer. Yup, Analyzer. He is pretty good. He is pretty good. They're all really good. You can consider them your one-card starters and your bread and butter of the deck. Of course, this is a bit more of a two-card combo deck, but theoretically they could be one-card starters, and that's why we always max out on the core engine. Moving on from there. Triple copies of the Quakimaru Guardian, absolutely mandatory, protection from hand traps. Triple copies of the Quakimaru Supplier, Chain Block, Extender, all of the above. The deck got a whole lot cheaper with the reprints to Researcher, Seeker, Analyzer, all that good stuff. But this guy went up in price. So I'm sorry if you're coming to the game late, but this card is absolutely insane and essential to the deck. Moving on from there, we've got triple copies of the Doki, which is a phenomenal normal summon as well. It can get you straight into your Analyzer, your Guardian, whatever you really need to make your hand and your plays as safe as possible. So I really like maxing out on Doki. Some people choose to play fewer copies of this card, however, I like playing more. You could definitely see this as a bit more of a flex spot, but in my opinion, it's really strong at 3 copies. Moving on from there, it's gross to hold these cards, but this is the only acceptable time to ever play Prank Kids cards. We've got triple the Roxys. Okay, so this isn't really a Prank Kids card, okay? We're just going to concentrate on the rock part, okay? So we're playing 3 of that, and I am playing 1 Dropsies, but this should be a Lampsies for this build. Let me tell you that right now. So pretend that that card is a Lampsies. I just don't have one. I hate Prank Kids cards. I rip them up whenever they're in my hands. Anyway, moving on from there. Triple copies of the Parallel Exceed, phenomenal extender, gets you into your Gallant Granite or your Abyss Dweller or your big Link plays, phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. And then finally playing the 1 copy of the Dragite. Bringing that to a close, we're going to go on into the hand traps now. Yes, we are main decking hand traps, and you'll see why in a minute. So starting things off, we've got triple copies of the Nibiru. It's a light, which is relevant. And it is a rock, which is also relevant, and it is a blowout, which we really love in this deck. Moving on from there, triple copies of the Effect Veiler. Again, it's light, and it is really good against the Tri-Brigades, has applications against the Drytrons. I don't like it because it plays into the talents, but it's still really, really good card. Moving on from there, triple copies of the Skullmeister. This one is dark, again relevant. I'm sure you guys are seeing where I'm going with this, but and it also has a lot of applications as well. This is the best dark hand trap that you can play right now. Alternatively, you could play DD Crow, but I thought Skullmeister was a little bit better since it's a level 4. It can theoretically get you into a Gallant Granite. Say you special summon a Analyzer, you whiff. You can normal summon the Meister, get yourself into a Gallant Granite, search out Researcher, continue to combo. I tried to keep it as relevant as possible. I think it's the most versatile applicable. When you're playing against the Prank Kids, it stops stuff. When you're playing against the Tri-Brigades, it can stop stuff. Same thing with the Drytrons, so we went with the Meister. And finally, oh, I forgot, this isn't a hand trap, but he's a dark monster, so I put him back here, apparently. The 1 Plague Spreader Zombie, which is a key extender, a key summon off of your Hulk, and a whole lot more. Moving on from there, the spell lineup is super slim. Triple copies of the Signs, which is Monster Reborn. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, which is Monster Reborn. And then the 1 copy of Call of the Grave. What was I saying? Call by the Grave. Stop those hand traps, the sack you one of. You know how we do things. Alright, that's it for the main deck. Let's hop into the... We're going to do the side deck first this time. We'll save the spice for the end. Triple copies of LoganJYA. Again, it's light, it's relevant, it's good against the Tri-Brigade, it's good against the virtual worlds, pretty good stuff. Triple copies of the Droll. We needed more blowouts against the Drytron matchup because even if we have things like Dark Ruler or Droplets, playing through the double orange light is especially difficult for this deck specifically. So I think that having the Droll, if you're able to see it, is a little bit stronger. Obviously the Nibiru is pretty good, the Veiler, the Skullmeister, things like that are pretty good, but if you're not able to see them, then what are you really doing? You need those blowouts. However, we are still choosing to play the triple copies of the Forbidden Droplets. You can make these Dark Rulers if you just wanted the chain ability, so we are doing that. And then for Spell and Trap removal, I am doing 2 copies of the Twin Twister and then 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. There are a few floodgates that this deck straight up loses to. IO is not one of them, so the chainableness of the Twin is not as important. You saw we play 5 spells in the main, so we don't have to be as fearful of the IO as other decks do, so I decided to play the Harpies and a bit of a smaller Spell and Trap removal package. And we can also run through back row pretty well. Not as well as Drytron, but very, very well. And finally, we're still doing triple of Pointer of the Red Lotus. This could be Judgment. I'm back and forth on if it should be Judgment, but when I was putting together this list, and I was like, you know, I tested on DB beforehand, I've played it before in the past, and I was just like, I want to carry over the Appointer. This is something that I've always played in my Adamancipator decks. I love looking at the opponent's hand, seeing exactly what you have to negate, ripping out those cards that are especially problematic. So you could do this. You could also change this to Talents or Judgment. Those would be the cards that I would put in its place alternatively. But yeah, the only thing that this sucks about this is that it does lose to the Droplets compared to the Dark Ruler, but man, it's still a good card. It's still a good card. I don't know what it is about it. And there's such a big way that the opponent can biff with this particular build, and Droplets the wrong cards. Just going to leave it at that. Alright, let's get into the extra deck real quick. We're playing the, these aren't, just pretend this is the Meow Meow, this is the Cockadoodle-Doo. Pretend that there's not Prank Kids in the name. We play both of those, though, because they're part of the engine. The one Halki Fibrax, one of your best cards in the extra deck. Key Extender and a key to your combo. Moving on there, Nightmare Unicorn, boom, shuffle, back, make, access code when you need to. Access code gets big and kills, it's pretty good. Moving on from there, the 1 copy of Apollosa, and make yourself hand trap proof after a certain point, especially if you see those, the Roxys, you can combo up into the Apo and then continue to play afterwards, it's pretty good. Moving on from there, for the Xseed monsters, the 1 copy of the Gallant Granite, and the 1 copy of the Abyss Dweller. Of course, Abyss Dweller shuts off so much of the meta. It's still absolutely worth playing. Really good against Drytron, really good against Tri-Brigade, really good against Prank Kids. It's very versatile, it's very good. So when you can throw that on your end board, why not, right? Now let's get into the spice, okay? The Synchro lineup. Starting things off with the Formula Synchron, you'll see why in a minute. The Adamancipator Risen Raptite, of course, essential piece. I'm playing this guy, the Leonite, I think is his name. Listen, I've never played this guy in an Adamancipator build before, but he has special application, I'll explain it in a minute. This is also why I said it's important to play Lampseas instead of Dropsies. So if you have Lampseas, put that in there for sure, or cut this card for a Herald of the Arclight. That's pretty much all I got to tell you. The 1 Dragite, of course, the big Dragite, bounce things back, also serves as Spell and Trap or Negate, really good. And now let's get in, oh, well, no, we'll slow it down. We got the Boral Savage, of course, one of your traditional, the best level 8 Synchro, Omni Negate. And now we're playing the Chaos Ruler. That's why I was talking about the lights and the darts, right? I'm sure you guys picked up on that. You guys are smart. You know what I'm talking about. And boom, ACCEL Synchro into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. Let's take a look at this guy real quick. Look at this guy. He just says no. He really just says no. Anyway, this card is phenomenal. I absolutely love this card. So the combo that you do is basically your ending board includes any level 2 tuner, which he can help facilitate by bringing one back from the graveyard, which is why I think it's relevant to play the Leonite in this build. Or you can leave Plague Spreader on field or any Adamancipator level 2 tuner, excuse me, it really doesn't matter. Then you also end your board with the Hulk staying on the field. So normally in our traditional builds and our more competitive builds, we link the Hulk off into something like an Apollosa, or we save it or whatever. Like we usually use this thing, right? But in this build, you're leaving it on the board to tag out when your opponent passes priority into the Formula Synchron. You get a free draw, and then you use it with either the Chaos Ruler or the Boral Savage, and the level 2 tuner you left on the field to ACCEL Synchro into King Calamities, which basically VFDs your opponent. They can't play any cards that entire turn, and his effect cannot be negated. So if your opponent biffs and doesn't droplet your Hulk, you're golden. you're actually golden. You can like play like you made a misplay and left Hulk on the field, and then absolutely mollywop them. They're like, okay, I got droplets. I'm gonna take out that Boral Savage, that Abyss Dweller, or that Appaloosa, and we're gonna say no to that. And it's like, all right, they pass priority to you in main phase 1. Okay, Hulk effect. Okay, that's fine. Tag that out. Summon back formula. On resolution of the formula draw effect, uses effect to synchro summon, and then summon this guy and be like, now you have to pass turn. Gotcha. It was a prank. Anyway, guys, let's get into a combo tutorial so you can see how this works. Alright guys, so now I'm going to give the deck some real good shuffles. I just pile shuffled it, and I'm going to give it some riffles on top of that, just to make sure we're nice and shuffled up. We're going to do a test hand, and we're going to end on the best board possible that will facilitate the ACCEL Synchro on the opponent's turn into the King Calamities. So let's give it a final cut real quick, boom, in half like so, and let's see how we open up. So we're starting things off with a Seeker, Supplier, Guardian, Roxy's, and double Roxy's. Okay, I tell you what, this hand is pretty good. It's not the most resilient hand, so it could be stopped by hand traps on the correct cards, but we're going to play it as if it was the best thing we could possibly do. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I'm going to point out the things that are good about this hand, the things that could be better, and let's rock and roll. So first and foremost, we're definitely going to normal summon the Roxy's with this hand. If you want to, you can normal summon Seeker, but this is definitely better in this situation. We'll link off that Roxy's into a Meow Meow, like so. Alright, we're going to go Roxy's effect, Chainlink 1, Supplier effect, and hand Chainlink 2. So we'll special summon out that Supplier, and then we will banish the extra copy of Roxy's from our hand, and we draw another card from the top of our deck. So we get, oh, that's really good. That's really good. We just ripped a Researcher off the top. So it's not going to be that good all the time, but we could still go pretty far with this. So we banish, we draw 1, and then we special summon out the Lampsies. Again, right now, guys, like I said earlier, I am playing the Dropsies, but just pretend it's a Lampsies, okay, guys? It's fire instead of water, it burns instead of gains, it's the same crap. Alright, on resolution of the Roxy, summoning the Dropsies, you can use Supplier effect to search out another copy of Guardian for that free advantage. No reason not to take it. Give us more cards in our hands. And then from here, we'll move on and go link off the Meow Meow and the Dropsies into the Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, like so, okay? And then we'll trigger our Dropsies, which again should be Lampsies, to summon out another copy of Roxy's, the last one in our deck, ironically. So there we go, we got that guy out of the deck, and we can move on from here. Next deck that I'm going to do, since we ripped the Researcher off of our draw, we don't need to overlay and search it off of Gallant Granite. There are other options to search here, like Supplier, but we also already have that one in Roto as well. So what I'm going to do at this point, it may seem a little odd, is I'm going to special summon out our Researcher over here. And after special summoning the Researcher, I'm going to link these guys off for a 3-piece Appaloosa on the top. Like so. So there we go. We've got our Appaloosa on field. It's got 3 negates, and then we are going to use Researcher's effect to excavate the top 5. Oh my goodness, we are so good at this game. What made us so talented? I have no idea. And we're going to bring out that Doki Doki like so. It doesn't get much better than that. That's probably one of the best hits we could have had. Next, we can use Doki's effect, pitching off the Guardian. We already have the Appaloosa on field, so I mean, if they have Nib Imperm, then they've got us. Respect to the talent, right? But in this situation, we are going to pitch that off and special summon the Analyzer to get another name out of there. Next, give this another quick cut. We'll go Analyzer effect to excavate the top 5. Let's see how we hit. Pretty nice. We got a blue rock, double Xseed, and a Skullmeister, so that means we're definitely summoning that blue rock like so, and we'll use his effect to get a free draw once again, and this time we're ripping a Skullmeister. Not bad. That's a hand trap we can fall back on later. Moving on from here, we are going to take our Researcher and our Doki Doki. I think those are the best 2 to use in this situation, and turn them into our Halki Fibrax and use Halk's effect to summon from deck. Here I'm going to summon out the Plague Spreader Zombie. I think for the next step here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Blue Rock and the Plague Spreader and turn those 2 into a Raptite on the far left. Again, zonage doesn't really matter here, but Raptite, use its effect, see if we can hit again. Oh, maybe I should have gone Leonite first. Oh, JK, there's a Seeker. Pretty good. Although I'm not going to lie, I think, oh, that's pretty good. All right, yeah, we'll take that Guardian. Yeah, we're going to take that Guardian. Thank you very much, sir. Put those cards back on the bottom of the deck like so, and let's proceed on. For my next trick, I'm going to excavate these two, I'm going to synchro summon with these two into the Chaos Ruler over here on the far right, and we'll use his effects to excavate the top 5 cards in my deck. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get to pull a light monster out from here, being our Veiler, and throw the rest into the graveyard. We're not really going to be needing them right now. Then we can special summon that Seeker from our hand like so, and use its effect to excavate the top 5 cards of our deck. Let's see what we can hit. Pretty good. We've been very, very fortunate to hit another supplier like so. That is really, really nice. We're going to put those other cards back to the bottom of our deck. Again, this is where it's relevant, like I mentioned earlier, to play the Lampsies. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn these two into the Leonite. And we'll use his effect to see if we can hit a Signs. I'm trying to remember the order of us putting cards back to the bottom. It's another important thing to keep in mind when you're playing Adamancipators. There's always the chance. Alright, and since we were able to hit an Adamancipator card, we're going to take that Researcher for follow-up, like so. And put the rest back to the bottom. Now, like I said earlier, this is where the Lampsies comes up. So if we have a fire monster in our grave on our opponent's turn, we can use his effect to special summon an earth back from the graveyard. It can be Guardian or it can be any Adamancipator name. It does not matter. In this situation, though, we're going to pretend that we do have the Lampsies in grave. Again, just forgive me, guys. I don't have one on me. But we're going to use Plague Spreader's effect. We're going to put a card back from the graveyard to special summon it back to the field, like so. Now, if we didn't have the Lampsies, I would keep this on field and pass turn. But again, we're going to pretend that we have it. We're going to banish that and use our Raptite like so to summon out the Borreload Savage Dragon, which will have 2 negates after we attach our Prank Kids Cockadoodle-Doo to him. So he'll have 2 negates now. So right now, our end board is looking really, really, really good, guys. We've got follow-up in the form of a Researcher in hand. We've got an Effect Veiler and a Skullmeister. We've got the Chaos Ruler, which has not used its effect in the graveyard yet. We kind of just left it there, didn't need to link it off. A 3-negate Apollousa, Halqifibrax, Leonite, and Boral Savage. So when we pass turn to the opponent, what we're going to do is, in their standby phase, we're going to use Leonite's effect to summon back any Adamancipator level 2, like so. And then as soon as they pass priority to us in main phase 1, we're going to tag out that Halqifibrax, like so. Summon out from our extra deck a Formula Synchron, which will give us another free draw, which is the card we ironically just stacked. And then on resolution of that effect, we'll use the Formula Synchron to ACCEL Synchro and summon the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, which basically says your opponent cannot play the game. We summon this guy, they cannot activate any cards or effects, and they're pretty much locked out for the rest of the turn. All I can do is set cards. So turn comes back around to us, and we absolutely obliterate them. It's pretty easy. Anyway, guys, that's everything for this deck. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash the like button. Let's get over 50 likes, and then I can do a more competitive, if I was taking this deck to an event, how I would play it tomorrow video on Adamancipators. Anyway, that's all I got. LoganJYA signing off. Have a great day, and I'll see you chumps later. Peace.
心の隙間埋め